Hello and welcome to Creating Your Supporting Families Offer webcast. So this is the second webcast in this series, the first webcast supporting families through early help, which you have hopefully previously watched, explored what is actually meant by early help and our responsibilities around this. As we discovered, you will most probably deliver early help to your families every single day through offering a listening ear and acknowledging the complexities of family life. And no doubt you will offer advice and signpost to other services, both local and national, dependent on the family's need. So as part of Worcestershire's commitment to early help and our responsibilities under working together to safeguard children, we are asking our settings to think about what support you currently offer and capture this information in the form of a supporting families offer, which you will then publish to all your families. Now, you may have noticed the name has changed from an early help offer. I just want to clarify, what you name your offer is up to you. However, feedback from the sector suggests that parents are far more likely to access documents with familiar language. So supporting families is very clear and has no stigma attached, and this is what we are aiming for, a document that can signpost families to support in the simplest and non-judgmental way. Now, I acknowledge many of you may be watching this thinking I already have an offer. This is old news. And if this is the case, I want to thank you for what you do for your families. However, I am also hopeful that this webcast will still be of use to you, even if it just allows you 50 minutes to take time to reflect on your current offer and think about what works well and how you can build on this to ensure your offer remains relevant and effective for all your families.
Okay, so as looked at in the previous webcast, Worcestershire are committed to empowering parents to care for their own children well, as set out in the Worcestershire's vision, mission and values. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Empowerment describes the process of becoming stronger and more confident, especially in controlling our lives and claiming our rights. And quite often we are the key holder to lots of information which we have accumulated over our careers. So by sharing this with our families, we are giving them the tools to find resolutions or guidance for difficulties they may be facing. So having a supporting families offer allows us to have this information to hand and ensures families receive the right support at the right time. Our supporting families offer is also a great example of how we safeguard children. You will all be familiar with the levels of need document from the previous webcast. Now, this supports us in our professional capacity to understand how we can support at levels 2 and 3 and when to escalate as a level 4 referral. Remember, early help is about addressing a problem that we have already identified and to put support in place to avoid this problem becoming entrenched or escalating further. Early help, therefore, underpins our safeguarding procedures. And if I was in practice now, I would be sharing my supporting families offers with regulatory bodies such as Ofsted, as this is a prime example of how you support and safeguard families and sends a real clear message about your setting safeguarding culture. Having an effective supporting families offer will also support your wider team if you have one. I am not sure how many early years leaders are watching this right now, but I'm guessing you hold a lot of information in your head. It's time to delegate, and so by having a publicised supporting families offer, your colleagues will have access to this information and maybe take some of the burden of relaying this to the families. And if you are a childminder, it may be worth joining forces with other local childminders to create a supporting families offer as a group. So before we move on to the next slide, I just want to be clear. You are not expected to know it all or to be able to do everything for a family. There are plenty of other organisations that specialise in an array of topics such as housing, finances, even online safety. So we must utilise these services. We don't want you to reinvent the wheel. We just need settings to understand what they can provide and when they may need to signpost to another agency who has a specialism in what your family needs at that time. So let's think about some practicalities when you're thinking about the design of your supporting families offer. It must be simple. This simplicity is really key here because we want our families to be able to access this and use the document. And you will, of course, have some families who are able to access information themselves if they know where to go. However, you will also have some families that need that more structured guidance. when you're stressed or you're suffering from anxiety, you need clear guidance. And if you're handed a 50-page document to wade through, that's probably going to heighten your anxieties further. From my own personal experience, I really struggle with IT, and if I'm having IT issues and then I'm sent an online instruction manual, my brain just switches off completely. It just won't do it. So keep it simple and always be available to speak face to face with families as well. It doesn't replace that face to face contact. You may also have families who struggle to access information online. In my previous setting, we would often support families with this by helping them with online referrals and things like that. And lack of IT knowledge or access to technology, surprisingly, can still be a barrier for many of our families. Sharing documents via the online platforms can be really impactful. However, always make sure you've got that hard copy available too. Literacy can also be a barrier. The average reading age for adults in Worcestershire is 8 years old, so you must write your offer in simple language and ask yourself the question, would an 8-year-old be able to understand this and navigate this document? Lose any jargon and remember to write for your audience. Think about where families will be able to find your supporting families offer. Many of us make the mistake of popping this under the heading of safeguarding, as we recognise early help as part of our safeguarding commitment. I was guilty of this. I'll put my hand up. I was so proud of my offer. I spent a lot of time researching and producing it so that it was readable, easy to navigate. I did all those things, and then I popped it under my safeguarding tag. In my heart, I was thinking that, well, this demonstrated my safeguarding culture by publishing it under the safeguarding tab. But I hadn't considered how this could be very intimidating for some of my families and cause them anxiety. And I was quite possibly alienating my families and creating a stigma around early help. Instead, I should have created a supporting families tab on my website, so this normalises the ups and downs of family life and the realities for many of our families and local communities. This would have been more accessible and had a friendlier tone, and yes, hopefully an 8-year-old would be able to understand what supporting families could mean opposed to what early help means. So if your offer is published on your website, you could always ask your families where they think it should sit. Ask them, do they know where to find it? And is the information accessible and usable? The supporting families offer also needs to be easy to navigate for both families and your colleagues. Think about how you could group themes together. Again, remember, the simpler the better. I often think less is more, so think of the document as something that will grow and evolve over time as you become aware of services available. Being presented with a list of websites can be quite daunting to many people, so be creative. Use images and logos to break up text where you can. And finally, keep your information up to date. Websites and services change, so make sure however you choose to design your offer, it is easy to update to ensure its relevance. I just wanted to share with you how you can be creative with your offer. Remember, this is for your parents, so think about their needs when considering how you want this to look. Now, these examples are from a local high school, and I do appreciate and acknowledge they will have far more resources in both time and technology than many settings. However, I just want to share with you the easy way that it's laid out. It makes me want to read it. It looks exciting. It looks like this is interesting. And there's a choice of support under the clear headings without feeling too overwhelmed. They have obviously researched and found the best support under each heading for what they think, rather than reams and reams of different links. It's written in simple language as well, and is far more appealing than a block of writing and email links. So what should be in the offer? Now, this list looks extensive, but is felt to cover the many challenges families may face at different times during their parenting journey. Remember, when we are considering our supporting families offer, we are more than likely looking further than the child in your care. It may be parents are needing help to parent older teenagers, or it may be the parents themselves who need a helping hand. This will, of course, widen the services that could be of use to the family unit. What we need to do next is think about how we categorise some of these services so the information is easy for our families to find, and again, not too overwhelming. We will spend some time now thinking about how to structure our offer, and I will also share some information about some of the key agencies that may feed into your supporting families offer. So the Worcestershire Children's First Early Help pages on our website is a great place to start. If you go onto the Early Help page's professional guidance, there are resources here for you to use. And if you click on the How to Set Up Your Settings Early Help offer, you will find an Early Help offer template. Remember, ignore the name. As we talked about previously, it is preferable to rename this to your supporting families offer. So this document is really useful as it already includes some organisations and links to these which may be useful as a starting point. So spend some time accessing these links and ask yourself how relevant and easy they are to use for your families. Then use this information to build upon. Worcestershire Children's First have also created a booklet for families as seen on the slide. Now this is a 27-page document to signpost families to. It may be useful to see what is in here and then supplement this with your own offer, which details different organisations or support unique to your local area. I mean, I was in Pershore Civic Centre yesterday for a meeting, and whilst I was waiting, I came across so many leaflets unique to Wychavon that could feed into a supporting families offer. Pershore also has its own wellbeing hub, so talk to your families, colleagues and fellow childminders to see what local services may supplement your offer. Worcestershire Children's First also have the Virtual Family Hub, which is a website offering lots of advice across a range of themes. There is a downloadable poster on the website, so you can advertise this in your setting or on your online platforms. So use these resources as a starting point and then start to think about the direct issues affecting your families, and then you can add organisations both nationally and locally that could help families. How you make up your offer is up to you. You may want to create one from scratch from the tools I have shared with you today, or you may want to signpost to the Virtual Family Hub, an early help booklet on registration, and then supplement this with support you feel is relevant to your families now and in the future. What is most important is that your offer is understood and used well. Having a clear early help statement introduces the concept of early help to your families. Now, for those of you who already have an offer, you may have used a previous template as shown on the slide. This original template had space for photos and names of the settings manager and DSLs. This template has since been changed to the second image, and although still has space to put key personnel and job roles, I feel is less formal and less frightening, as the word safeguarding is not quite so prominent. The new template has a sample statement about early help you may want to use, or you may want to write your own, as in the third image on the slide. Again, this is a high school, however, it demonstrates how we can personalise our offer to reach our different audiences. In your early help introductory statement, you may want to talk about what you already provide. At my previous setting, we were very proud of the flexibility we could offer our parents. We recognise the needs of our parents, and we're a non-for-profit organisation. We therefore could offer flexible hours to fit with work hours of our parents. We also employed high ratios, so we could offer weekly parent drop-ins to support with whatever was needed, whether that be general advice, support with paperwork, or modelling SEN interventions that could be done at home with children. Now, every setting will be different, and I can guarantee there will be something unique that you offer your families that other settings don't. So celebrate and share this with your families within that early help statement. So I just wanted to share with you some key organisations that I think would really complement a supporting families offer. Remember, this is just a snippet of what support is out there, and you may well be sitting there going through these slides thinking I haven't mentioned some key organisations that are really important to you. This doesn't mean they shouldn't be in your offer. I'm just going by some research that I've done and some services that I've used in the past when I ran my own provision. So let's start with the complex subject of parenting. So Starting Well is a partnership made up of the NHS Trust, Barnardo's, Action for Children and Redditch Borough Council. So dependent on where your setting is located will determine which of these agencies deliver the service. Starting Well's main priority is to deliver the Healthy Child programme, and that includes health support for 0 to 19-year-olds, and that includes health visiting, your school nursing, parenting support and community development. And they will also support early years settings with health messaging through their professionals hub, so really useful website. And the website is really easy to use. It has clear signposting for parents and carers, professionals, and there's also separate pages for young people as well, so they can access that information themselves. They have one simple number, which means they're contactable by phone, and you will be directed to the service felt best to help you. There is a self-referral form on their website as well, so families can actually refer themselves into support, or these can be completed by professionals with their consent, of course. So yeah, really worth looking at their website, because I was really sort of blown away by the extent of support that's on there. I did have Starting Well partnership in my local offer, but I'll be honest, I wasn't aware of the extent of the service that they offer. So just in brief, having explored their website, if you go onto the Family Hubs tab, you will find where most of the services are based, and many of the Starting Well teams, including the community house connectors, work from these hubs and host a range of activities and services, which can include anything from parenting classes to midwife appointments and baby weighing clinics. Now, there is no base currently in Perthshire or Evesham, so many families in Wychavon may not know support is available, so it's still important that you're signposting them to Starting Well Partnership, because they can still access a lot of the support that they provide. Okay, as you will find when exploring the website, Starting Well provide a wide range of information, parenting groups and courses based around family life. And what's great about this is many of these courses are free and they're not means tested, meaning anyone can refer themselves into these courses. And popular courses you might have heard of before is the PEEP Learning Together programme. That's a 10-week course with sessions of up to an hour. And the focus of that is to make the most of day-to-day opportunities in the home to support children's communication and language skills. It runs a bit like a structured stay and play for parents and children. Henry is another popular course that stands for Health, Exercise and Nutrition for the Really Young. And again, this is over an 8-week period. Sessions are about 2 hours long, and just really, really useful and practical advice for parents. There's a lot of other courses available, such as school readiness, the incredible years 2 to 8. There's courses specific to SEN or even parenting teenagers. And really, it's a mixture of face-to-face and virtual delivery. I just also want to mention the Solihull Approach Parenting course, which is accessible online. Now, this is a free online course and covers parenting from pregnancy right through to raising teenagers. And as this is online, it can be accessed in the parent's own time. This is a really good one to signpost to your EAL families, as their courses can be translated into different languages. Starting Well also facilitates self-support groups dependent on the need, and groups in the past have included an SEN support group and a transgender and gender questioning group. So as you can see, a wide range of support which is designed to meet the needs of the local communities. And finally, on exploring the website, I came across something new I had never heard of, the free Baby Buddy app. And that's designed to empower new parents and give them bite-sized knowledge and advice through pregnancy to their child's first birthday. So I was honestly sort of blown away by the amount of support available through the Starting Well partnership. And like I said, it was in my Supporting Families offer. However, I hadn't really taken the time to really explore the support they could provide. And so I'd really urge you to take a real detailed look on what is on offer. It's also important that we fight the stigma sometimes attached to parenting courses. These courses are not for bad parents or bad kids. It is in fact the best parents that engage in these groups, as they are being proactive and acknowledging that they might need some help. And the courses are designed to share strategies that are useful to all parents and are generally focused on developing those positive relationships between the parent and child. So now I know more about Starting Well and what they offer, I think this would be my first point of call when supporting families with all things parenting. So as experts in child development, I have no doubt in my mind that you are constantly given advice about an array of topics related to child development. And it's really important to put this information in your Supporting Families offer, because your knowledge may be different to your parents. So it's well known across the early years sector that children's communication skills underpin all learning. Our focus, therefore, is to support these skills through our quality interactions and to promote the importance of quality time between adults and children with our families. And Tiny Happy People is a website designed for this. It offers practical support on how to engage with children through play and storytelling. So there's lots of videos on the website which help to model how to interact with children, and this can be really reassuring to our parents. The website grows daily in content, so is current and accessible to all families. So I would definitely be signposting my parents to this. Now, if we identify a child that may need some further support with their communication and language skills, we can direct colleagues and parents to the Balanced System Speech, Language and Communication Pathway. And there's a great video to watch on how the pathway works and how you can use this tool as evidence of how you support children in your care. We're going to move on to Better Health Start for Life, and this is a relatively new website from the NHS which offers advice and guidance to parents from pregnancy through to toddler age, and they look at various themes such as weaning and supporting children's speech and language. And then we have the NHS Better Health Healthier Families website, which has replaced what was known as Change for Life. You might remember that. Now, this website offers advice on how to live a healthier lifestyle and gives practical tips and ideas for the whole family. Then we have Eric. I love Eric. Eric is an amazing charity which supports with all things related to toileting. It really is an excellent resource for both professionals and parents and offers advice and support with a great section on potty training and toilet anxiety. They host free webinars for parents and have a helpline available, and I've used this with families in the past and it's been really, really practical, sensitive advice. The website also includes videos and books aimed at slightly older children to help them understand how their body works and helps to really normalise some of those toileting issues. A really good website to be pointing parents to. Now, sleep can also be a challenge for some of our families, and the Lullaby Trust have a great booklet for parents and carers on safer sleeping. Now, this has been a huge focus in earlier settings after a recent fatality in a nursery, so sharing this information for the home is recognised as good practice. And then we have CAPT, which stands for the Child Accident Prevention Trust. And again, a great website which highlights some of the hazards our children may face. It's great to use with families or to educate across a range of themes from road and car safety to supervision in the home. Your Supporting Families offer is all about empowering families to seek the right help at the right time. Parenting can be one of the most challenging jobs any person will ever do, so we need to arm our parents with information to help them through this journey and help to build confidence in their own abilities. Homestart is all about building parental confidence. The Homestart experts and trained volunteers work alongside families to give non-judgmental, compassionate and confidential support. They cover a range of support from managing finances, social isolation, helping when relationships come to an end, supporting families in the forces and families with twins, triplets or multiple children. If you have a family that would benefit from these services, the referral form is on the Homestart website, which you must download and then send via post. They also have a referral pack which you can request. If you have families who care for children with SEN, I would most certainly be signposting them to SENDIAS, which is an abbreviation of Send Information, Advice and Support Service. This is a free service which supports those caring for 0 to 25s with SEN. The service is impartial and so gives advice without taking sides. Advisors are there to listen to you and talk through options, giving advice based on the legal rights of the child. So by having this unbiased support, this helps to arm parents with factual information to ensure their children's needs are met and empowers them to stand up for their child's rights. You can also signpost to the Worcestershire County Council SEN local offer, which details the support that families of 0 to 25s with SEN can expect to access across education, health and social care. If you then click through to early years birth to starting school, then you will come across the SEN Advice and Support for Parents page, which holds a wealth of information aimed at parents of early years children specifically. I have also put on the slide the Families in Partnership website, which is a parent and carers forum to discuss what works well and not so well in Worcestershire. Views are gathered through events, discussion and working groups to ensure parents' voices are heard. Now, as professionals, you'll be aware that the threats our young children face today in society is ever changing, especially in regard to child exploitation. As we become better at safeguarding our children, the criminals adapt, resulting in a change in landscape which we must keep ourselves updated with. We do this well as a sector, but what about our parents? How can they protect their children if they don't know what the risks are? If we can keep our families informed, this again will empower them to be curious and to develop an awareness which can support their children to navigate the complexities of childhood and growing up. So I've put on this slide some key websites to do this. The NSPCC, which covers an array of topics, also gives practical guidance on how to have difficult conversations with children. Get Safe is Worcestershire's multi-agency response to tackling child exploitation, and Get Safe stands for gangs, sexual exploitation, trafficking, modern-day slavery, children absent or missing, forced marriage and criminal exploitation. Working together, agencies raise awareness and support victims and their families who experience this. On the website, you will find a parent leaflet to share with parents who are worried and need support. Online safety is also a huge concern for many parents as technology advances at a rapid rate and children become more confident in their use of IT. We can sometimes feel at a loss of how to keep them safe. You can find support through the NSPCC website, but I've also added ChildNet as I use this site when visiting settings due to some of the resources available to teach children how to stay safe online. They have Smarty the Penguin, which is an online story for 3 to 7-year-olds exploring how to keep safe online. And then finally on this slide, to further empower our parents, we have links to adult learning in Worcestershire. This can be accessed through the Worcestershire Children First website and offers free or subsidised training from maths and English qualifications to hair and beauty, language classes, SEN courses and IT qualifications. This updates regularly and courses run from community buildings such as libraries, family hubs and sometimes schools. So hopefully on this slide there's a lot here that would help support confident parenting in your setting. So this next slide is going to be looking at how we support relationships in the family, whether this is the relationship between parents or teaching our children about what a healthy relationship might look like. And I'm hoping you've all heard of Harmony at Home, which is Worcestershire's approach to the government's Reducing Parental Conflict programme. Now, parental conflict is when at least one parent reports relationship distress, and this can be from constant bickering, sniping, arguing. It might be a lack of warmth or emotional distance. And it's important to note that parental conflict sits under the threshold of domestic violence and abuse. However, this can still negatively impact children and their outcomes. So in 2021, a government report stated 12% of children in the UK lived in a household with parental conflict. And the Worcestershire Children's First Harmony at Home page signposts our families to support from other organisations such as Relate and even an app called Between Us, which is designed to strengthen relationships. There's also a professional section with a range of tools you can use with your families, and there is training as well, which goes with this accessed in a normal way. As an extension to this, there is also a referral system into a specialist programme of support. However, this can only be applied for if both parents consent and the relationship remains in conflict after you've completed the Harmony at Home toolkit with the parents. Now, the Harmony at Home webpage is really well worth exploring as it shares an array of resources and information in different formats to help you support your families. So please do go there as a first point of call. So sometimes problems with relationships will escalate and they can become violent and coercive. I am hoping many of you are aware of Operation Encompass, which is an information sharing service to help protect and support victims and children who are now seen as victims in their own right where domestic violence has occurred in the family unit. In brief, if police are called to a domestic abuse incident, they have a duty to notify Worcestershire Children's First Education Safeguarding Team, who will contact the setting of that child the very next day so you can offer the correct support. We can currently only do this for funded children, but are looking to widen this scope. So if you want to sign up to the programme, let the team know and we can send you the Operation Encompass pack, which includes some really great training on how best to support children and families experiencing domestic violence. Now, unfortunately, statistics tell us 1 in 4 women will experience domestic abuse in their lives, and West Mercia Women's Aid are dedicated to reducing the incidences and impact of domestic violence. So they have a range of support from 24-hour phone lines and recovery programs, and they also support men who are victims of domestic violence, and also have a range of programs they run for children from the ages of 7 to 19 years of age, and that focuses on how to deal with the trauma from witnessing, experiencing or perpetrating domestic abuse. These programs also address what healthy relationships look like. There will be other local support groups such as Dawn, which is a free, confidential, non-judgmental support service for any individual living in Wychavon, Malvern Hills and the city of Worcester who is experiencing or has experienced domestic abuse. They can offer small support groups or one-to-one support. Professionals can refer victims into the service or they can self-refer on the Dawn website. And we have Respect. This is an advice line for men who are victims of domestic abuse. It's a really great website which even has a video showing what to expect on that first phone call. So really reassuring for new users of the service. The service also supports professionals working with male victims, so a really valuable resource to know about. We've got the Holly Guzzard Trust, and that looks to reduce domestic abuse through its programmes and promotes work around healthy relationships in schools and colleges. And they have created the Holly Guard mobile phone app, which has a number of features to increase personal safety. And finally, I've popped on here Shh24, which is an NHS project offering a free, discreet and confidential service which delivers to your home sexual health products. And the webpage also offers advice and support around the topic of sexual health. Okay, so let's move on to mental health and well-being, which should be an important part of your offer. Again, these are just a few of the organisations you could potentially have on your supporting families offer, but please look around for more local support. As I said earlier, I was in the Wychavon offices the other day and came across all kinds of local health and well-being groups in local villages. Also in Perthshire, we have the Wellbeing Hub where you can just drop in for advice and support. So use these local services within your offers. So let's start with the Reach for Wellbeing programme, which is run through CAMS, which is an abbreviation of the Child and Adolescent Mental Health Services. They run a range of services, including support for those working directly with children. Reach for Wellbeing is just one of the services and is an online programme to support the emotional wellbeing of children and their parents and carers. There are a variety of programmes ranging from children in reception through to year 13. They also run young people's skill groups for over 16s. They have a great video on their website about the adolescent brain from Dan Sigal, which again helps us to recognise what our older children are going through and how we may be able to support them. Okay, now we're talking. Now this is a campaign against across Hereford and Worcestershire to raise awareness and support for mental health and well-being. They signpost programs such as NHS Talking Therapies, which was previously known as Healthy Minds. And this programme offers free confidential support through online therapy, groups and courses or one-to-one support. You can self-refer into this service and many GPs would signpost people struggling with mental health to this service. So we know it is one of the recommended pathways. Having explored their website, I came across self-led Silver Cloud Therapy, which is a 6 to 8 week online therapy course to help improve and maintain well-being. So some really valuable resources to signpost our families to. Just be aware Talking Therapies is a service for over 18s. For younger people, aged between 11 and 19-year-olds who are struggling with their mental health and well-being, there is a free, safe and anonymous online support and counselling service called Kooth. Now, this is designed as a safe online space for young people to express themselves with the underlying message that there is always someone to listen and understand. The platform provides online journals, community discussion boards and top tips on how to recognise and manage anxiety. They also have a chat messenger service, so young people always have someone to talk to, although this is not a 24-hour service. Out of curiosity, I asked my daughter to set up an account so we could look at it together. It's designed really well, easy to use, and really supportive group for young people who may just need a little extra support outside of the family unit. Unfortunately, bereavement will affect all families at some point. You may well have heard of Winston's Wish, who are a provider of grief and bereavement support for children and young people up to the age of 25. And they also provide support for parents and carers and professionals caring for children. Now, we all know grief can be a real personal journey and everyone experiences this differently. So the website offers a range of support from activities to complete with children, recommended books and stories, and podcasts which explore different young people's experiences. There are also on-demand services which include live chat and text support. One-to-one counselling can also be accessed, however, this service can only be provided through a referral process. So children can self-refer if they're aged 13 and over. Under 12s can also access the service with adult consent. And the referral forms are simple and easily accessible on the website. Another great aspect of this website is the accessibility of written guidance, which is provided in a range of languages. And finally, we have Papyrus, who are committed to the prevention of young suicide. Now, suicide is the main cause of death in under 35s, and we do lose around 200 school-aged children a year in the UK. Papyrus run Hopeline 24/7, which is a 24-hour phone, text, email, or web chat service run by trained advisors. On the website, you will also find lots of resources such as a suicide safety plan, which the young person can take control of and revisit. There is also lots of support for professionals on how best to support those having suicidal thoughts. So some real food for thought there. Like I said, you probably have a range of other support groups that you're aware of, but these are the main ones for me that I have used in the past. So your supporting families offer may also want to include practical support to help parents get back into work, or it may be indeed to help young people transition from full-time education to the workplace. Worcestershire Children's First website have a page which advertises the NEET team, which stands for Not in Education, Employment or Training. And the post-16 NEET team can offer advice and guidance. They also have links to some really useful guidance for parents supporting children at those really crucial ages of 16 and 18, so young people can make those informed decisions about their future. Skills for Worcestershire is a careers website designed to provide our young people, parents and schools with all the information required to understand the career opportunities and pathways available in Worcestershire. And this website aims to signpost to useful resources, careers and employability advice and important information about Worcestershire's economy, which again will help young people make informed careers choices. For those aged 16 plus, the Restart scheme aims to build confidence, skills and help people find suitable employment. And this can include support from writing CVs, preparing for interviews, through to one-to-one coaching advice and guidance. And through their website, you can also access further support such as the Work and House programme. And now this really empowers adults by building their confidence and skills. They spend time with you to recognise your strengths and your ambitions and really sort of understand your needs so you can get the right fit with your employment. When parents are looking for work, they may want advice on support available in regard to childcare. Now, if they visit the government website, they can find out if they are eligible for tax-free childcare. This is means tested, so parents will have to check their own eligibility and then set up an account which they must manage. Basically, for every £8 they pay into this account, the government will pay in £2 to help pay for the childcare provider. And parents can actually benefit up to £2,000 per child. I've also put on here the Ready Steady Worcestershire Holiday Activities and Food Programme, known as HAF. This is for school-aged children who receive free school meals. Research has shown that the school holidays can be a real pressure point for some families, and that leads to a holiday experience gap. So the government have therefore funded HAF programmes during the summer, Easter and Christmas holiday periods to really encourage children to access out-of-school activities, to eat well, to get active, have fun and make some friends. Sign up for this is easy through the Worcestershire Children's First website, and there is also an opportunity for professionals to refer in non-free school meal children. It may be that you're actually a HAF provider, which would be a great addition to your early help offer. And for more information on this, please go to the HAF pages on the Worcestershire Children's First website. So again, these are just a handful of organisations to consider for your supporting families offer. You may also want to signpost to services such as Job Centre Plus, as this can also support families by informing them of financial support available. So worrying about finances can have a real negative impact on family life, and we are seeing this more and more with the current cost of living crisis. Putting information into your offer, such as local food banks, is therefore really important. You can find this information generally online or through local Facebook groups. There is a lot of help out there locally. I visited a city centre setting recently, and I was in absolute awe of this manager who had supported families in so many different ways, from securing furniture, school uniform grants, Christmas presents, food parcels, sanitary packs, and even translation services. And all of this support was sourced within Worcester and just came from her being proactive and asking for help. Unfortunately, some families will find themselves in debt. So I've popped on here Stop Loan Sharks, which is a national organisation who investigate and prosecute illegal money lenders, and they can offer emotional and practical support 24 hours a day. Now, if your parents want face-to-face support, this is available through Citizens Advice. In Worcestershire, Citizens Advice runs from offices in Malvern, Worcester and Evesham. Times of opening do vary, and some offer drop-ins, whereas other offices are pre-bookable appointments only. They also have an outreach service and will visit community centres, libraries and food banks where you can drop in to speak to somebody without an appointment. So details of times, dates and how to make appointments can be found on their website. Just please note there are two separate web pages for South Worcestershire and Worcester. Now, Citizens Advice offer a range of support, which includes financial challenges, such as help with the cost of living, signposting to grants and benefits to help with energy costs, and just general advice on all things money. Now, when families get into financial trouble, they may be at risk of homelessness. St Basil's work with young people aged 0 to 25 years from Bromsgrove or Redditch areas who are at risk of or are homeless. We also have the YMCA in Worcestershire, which helps young people aged 16 to 25 with their support needs, including those that are homeless or at risk of homelessness. Under 18s can be referred into the service by a professional, or if the person is 18 and over, they can self-refer. We also have the Basement Project, which is based in Bromsgrove but provides support for young people in Worcestershire who are homeless, facing homelessness or experiencing other issues. Might be tenancy agreements, job retention, finances. They might need help with employment, training, physical health or mental well-being. They really do pride themselves on being a safe, secure environment which offers stability and guidance to young people. And they deliver the service through a drop-in service in Bromsgrove, but they also have a floating service where young people can be supported in their homes or local community. And of course, we've also got Worcestershire's County Council's web pages, which has a dedicated page on homelessness and helps support the whole family. So it would be a really good starting point for your families if they need support with housing. So through my research in planning this webcast, I have come across some other themes you may wish to explore and include in your supporting families offer. Remember though that sometimes less is more, so think about the relevance to your families and adapt your offer to meet the needs, which I am sure will continually change and evolve. It may be you have forces families or care for children who have family members in prison. Make your offer unique to those who will be using it. And don't forget the local groups either. If your local village hall has a regular wellbeing drop-in, shout about it. It may be there's a local parent group which could really support some of your families in building confidence and making friends. There may be a local youth club or sports class that could benefit some of your families. So use what is available so these services continue to grow and remain sustainable for future generations. So I popped on here a few more organisations. So social prescribing is for adults aged 18 and over and supports health and well-being. So 1 in 5 doctor's appointments are for non-medical purposes, as patients just don't know who to turn to for help. Social prescribing, therefore, is based within GP practices and aims to link patients to non-medical support, such as groups, activities, different services. It is in its own right a form of early help, as patients are signposted to support dependent on what their need is. Patients can get referred into social prescribing through their GP, or they can actually self-refer. Cranston, Worcestershire supports those aged 18 over that are struggling with drug or alcohol intake. They are based in Worcester, however, deliver their services across the 6 districts in Worcestershire. You can self-refer or be referred in by a professional. In addition, they run a family support service for family and friends to help them cope with someone's substance misuse. Cranston also run a programme called Here for Youth, which provides alcohol and drug support and provides a safe space where one-to-one workers can listen and understand. They can deliver this service at the young person's home, school, college, or an environment where they feel comfortable. And they also offer advice, support and guidance for children, young people and family members of any age to cope with someone else's drug or alcohol misuse. We then have Steer Clear. This is a targeted educational programme aimed at young people involved or at risk of becoming involved in knife crime. So it's run by West Mercia Police in liaison with other organisations, and they aim to intervene early to prevent the criminalisation of our young people. Anyone can refer a young person into the programme. You just need to simply send an email stating why they would benefit from the programme. We then have young carers. So a young carer is classified as someone aged between 6 to 25 years old who has people depending on them to provide emotional, medical, physical, or personal care or help with domestic tasks, even if this is just for a few hours a week. So advice and support for young carers can be found via the Worcestershire Children First website. There is also a separate web page for adult carers classed as 18 years plus. I've also got on here the Community Services Directory, which signposts to helpful information about registered health and wellbeing groups, services and activities locally and across the country. And the purpose is to support people to stay informed, healthy and independent by giving them that relevant information when they need it. So it's a great way to connect people to local services and to the variety of voluntary and community groups that we have across Worcestershire. And then I've put on there Age UK, and they're dedicated to promoting wellbeing and independence for the over 50s. So as a fellow 50-year-old, I'm imagining you may have colleagues of this age or have families where grandparents are quite involved in family life, maybe providing wraparound care for children. It's therefore important that we don't forget their needs. And the website offers general advice and signposts people to local groups. So when looking at the website, they actually have different websites dependent on your area. So I advise completing an internet search for Age UK in your nearest town. And there we have it. So spending time to search some of these organisations and finding out exactly what they do has been really eye-opening for me. And I hope by sharing this information with you, you will have some concrete ideas now of how your supporting families offer may look. So it's now over to you. Now, you may already have an offer you want to just tweak after listening to this webcast, or you may be wanting to start from scratch. Some last minute thoughts from me, and if you know me, you will know I love an acronym. So I have created SIMPLE. So what does this stand for? So S is for simple. Cut the jargon and ensure it is easy to understand with those clear descriptions as to how the services can support families. Too much text can be sort of really overwhelming, so really sort of simplify that language. And also consider how easy it is to navigate to avoid families becoming overwhelmed with too much information. Your offer should also include what's already available. So at the start of this webcast, we looked at the Virtual Family Hub and the Early Help booklet, but then we build on this to include the support that you are able to offer, along with support unique to your specific location. So support should be a mixture of both nationwide and local. It needs to meet the needs of your families and your setting, and this is the key thing to think about. How are families going to be using the document, and does it continually evolve as families' needs change? That's what you need to be thinking about. Placed in a location which is accessible. So that's for your families and your colleagues, and avoid stigma. So if it's on your website, how easy is it to find? Can you find your offer in 3 clicks? That's a good challenge to be thinking about. We need to learn and reflect from the family's experience of the offer so that we can keep the offer current and relevant. So when looking at your offer, make sure that you are doing through reflective eyes. And engage. Does it engage the reader? Is it written in such a way that parents don't feel judged? Does it open doors to conversations with your families about the challenges of family life and how you can support them going forward? So there we have it. Okay, so we've now reached the end of this webcast. As always, if you have any questions, please do contact the Early Years team. We are contactable by phone and email and are always really pleased to hear from you. Also check out the Worcestershire Children's First Early Help pages, which are there to help you. So thank you for spending time with me, and look out for the next webcast in the series, which will look at how we can use the early help assessment effectively. Thank you very much.